Hey everybody, so I'm going to walk us through the performance evaluation instructions one more time in case you've forgotten since I last showed it to you. So I've put together this quick one-pager thanks to Caitlin for a template that has most of the directions and timelines. To quickly go through that, basically by January 8th, you want to schedule 45 to 60 minutes of work time per direct report, and then 45 to 60 minutes for your own time for self-reflection. You'll also want to schedule 45 to 60 minutes of meeting time with each direct report to debrief the evaluation. And we're going to want to complete the evaluations just after the trimester 2 PKRs are scored. The week of January 15th, I'm trying to plan to be in meetings so that we can do a norming session for everyone around how to score on this. And then the couple of weeks at the end of January, you're going to want to conduct those evaluations, preparing for those by looking at your direct report self-evaluations, which I would recommend having sent to you 48 hours in advance. And then planning to do the evaluation discussion with your people. And so thinking about how they rated themselves and how you rated them in order to find some common ground and be able to have that conversation in an effective way. And then by Wednesday, January 31st, I'm going to ask everyone to share the evaluations with me so that I can upload them into employee files and take a quick look at how we rated everyone to see whether this felt like a good use of time that felt fair and unbiased. So I'm going to walk you through the directions, which you'll also see down here, and you'll see some hyperlinks that I'm going to send along with this video so that you can access the template and the competencies. And I'm going to show you how to set up the evaluation so that you can set up your own. So if you open up the performance evaluation doc, you'll see the evaluation that we've gone through. The only change, well, let's walk through this very quickly. This again is the title page. This is the page that will have their final performance rating and that you'll have them sign after their mid-year interview and evaluation, The second page is the core competencies, and we had this discussion at Cabinet, and so sharing with the principals now and anyone else that's watching this video. When we talked about the core competencies, we talked about the fact that there's a good chance, since these are rated on needs improvement, satisfactory, strong, and exceptional, and there's no specific position component to it, that someone might score in satisfactory on this one, but on exceptional on the second bullet. And so there was discussion about should we score each of these individually. At Cabinet, what we discussed was going ahead and highlighting where you think someone falls on each individual bullet, but then utilizing that to think about, okay, now I'm going to read through this comment and determine which one feels like a better fit, and then making the decision on that, keeping the overall score even. So not doing like a 2.2 type score. So if I read these two, I might think to myself, well, they did score a 2 here, but this one's actually much more important to their position. And so at the end of the day, I might score them as strong performance on perseverance because they're doing really well in the area that they were at. Other people might choose to score these all individually and then give an average score, and that's fine too. But whatever that average is needs to correlate to one of these overall performances. So if it comes out as a 2.5, you really need to decide, does that mean more satisfactory or more strong? Let me know if you have questions on that. Really what we're doing is we're leaving it up to you on how you want to score that. So you'll put those in. Those rubrics are already at the end of this evaluation tool since everyone gets scored on those. What you'll need to do next is go to the page with position-specific competencies and utilizing your scorecard, start to put in those competencies into your evaluation. So you'll want to make a copy because you won't have editing rights. So I'm going to make a copy of this, and then I want to call it Taylor Evaluation January 2018. And save that. You'll also want to make sure that the only people that have accessing rights to this are, so let's look at that. Right now it's shared with a bunch of people. I don't want that to be true. So I'm going to take off everybody who has rights to this right now. because the only people I want to have access to it are yourself, your manager, and then me, Sarah Taylor. So if I was doing this and I wasn't Sarah Taylor, I would want to add me to the list. That way I'll have access to be able to do some norming and look for bias. Okay, so there's that. Once I've done that, I can now add in my specific competencies onto the position-specific competency component. Sorry, my dogs are attacking me. Okay, so I look at my scorecard and I see what my specific competencies are. I have strategic outlook. I have drive for results, etc. So I would enter all of these. I also need to pull up the competencies and copy that rubric into my document. So it should, hopefully with most of yours, take you straight to it when you click on it. So that should make this easy. I copy that. And at the very end of this evaluation tool, where it says position-specific competencies, I'll paste in each of those rubrics. And this may make the formatting off, and that's okay. Okay, so I'll do that for each of my position-specific competencies. Let's see if it does it again. Drive for results, I go to it. And again, it took me straight to it, which is helpful. Sometimes I'm smarter than I look. Okay, and then again, take it and put it at the end of my evaluation tool. All right. And this way I can go ahead and rate myself. Again, what on these for our position specific, each one has 5 bullets. An exceptional performance would be 5 out of 5 bullets. A strong performance would be 4 out of 5. A satisfactory would be 3 out of 5. And a needs improvement would be 2 or less. And then I would put those scores into my rubric. Stop it, you two. As a 1, 2, 3, or 4. All of these scores then will go down to the bottom here. This next piece is my specific priorities. So again, I would go to my scorecard. I would look at my PKRs, and I'm looking at my trimester 2 PKRs. I have not scored them yet. And I would recommend just copying in the high-level priority versus all of these underlying ones. Or you could even just put in a link to your scorecard with your grades. And so I might put comments around, met 3 out of 4 priorities with really strong results. And more commentary. And then I'm scoring myself here again based on this rubric down at the bottom, which is exceptional, strong, satisfactory, and needs, with information about what each of those means and some justification regarding whether that's in the top 90% of staff, etc. This section 4 overall summary I would recommend doing with your direct report. You may have ideas on where you want them to be answering and help lead them in that direction, but really you want to see how they're answering these questions. You'll put in the scores to find their final rating. And then section 5 is an area that you should spend quite a bit of time on as a manager, thinking about what are some of the goals that you want to see this person meeting in the year ahead and potentially next year when we do our end of year. And then I've linked in a 70-20-10 plan. There are lots of different templates for this, and Greg has another great one that I'm going to link in. But really thinking through what are the professional development activities that you would like this person to be working on, and how are you planning on supporting them? And then employees can add any comments here. Again, all of the rubrics would be down here at the bottom. If you have any questions about how we're going to do this evaluation, I think at this point we've gone through it several times, but I am happy to walk through it. I'm happy to spend more time on it when we do our norming conversation in January. And I'm excited to try this out. Again, we will try, we'll try it. We'll see what worked and what didn't work, and we can make some adjustments in the spring if there's ways that we can make this even better. Thanks so much, and hope you're having a great day.